We'll put those figures through the computer bank.
Cooey, Mr. Chairman. Are you busy?
Routine reports only.
Ah, excellent. Well, sounds like a good time to ask you to press the button on the randomizer.
Yes, finally.
Yes, for a department with such a tenuous link to the Anderson universe, you do seem to be kept pretty busy with... stuff? I'm quite surprised, really.
You shouldn't be. Our facilities here are already overworked.
Well, yes,
The
like
satellite channels are programmed for the actual operation, not this exercise. Just like the others.
That's just a lot of words, isn't it?
Yes, of course it is.
Yes, thought so. Anyway, to save me taking up any more of your valuable time, how's about setting the randomizer going for us?
He's already on his way.
Brilliant, thank you. So, is there any particular episode you're hoping to see come up today?
Absolutely none.
Oh, well, I suppose that's a good way to avoid being disappointed.
We're in no position here to reach a decision either way.
No, it is very much down to the randomizer and this piece of paper.
The correct decision will be taken. I have complete faith in his capabilities.
And that correct decision is the Protectors, apparently. Ah, with the Insider.
A conclusion both unanimous and obvious.
Well, if you say so. So, welcome back to The Protectors. On the randomizer, we open with a chap walking down a film archive looking for certain cans. In particular, this is actor Stuart Wilson, who is probably better known to Anderson fans for his quite spectacular appearance in the Space 1999 episode A Matter of Balance, where he played Vindrus. And I say spectacular, it's not a slight against his performance, it's a slight against the abysmal costume that he had to wear. If you think you might have seen the show but aren't quite familiar with that episode, it's the one where he was bald and wearing a bright yellow nappy with matching cape. This is a far more dignified screen appearance for Stuart Wilson. He's helping himself to some film cans from a film called The Hunter. And it's a film that's still being edited. Ooh. He has bludgeoned somebody in order to get into the lab and steal that film. And the editor, he's got a knock on the door. He's smoking in a room marked no smoking. That's very naughty of him. And he's opened the door. Who's here to see him?
Dave? Dave?
Ah, he makes the mistake of walking out of the film lab, getting himself knocked on the head. That's an even bigger mistake, so that Stuart Wilson can let himself into the lab and help himself to the film. Or perhaps not, as the case may be. And I should apologise up front if I sound a bit. I've been away. I was in Germany. I did FedCon in Germany over the last weekend, which has been great fun. With Anderson Connection, Julian Glover was there, and the director of the finest live-action Thunderbirds film to come out of 2004, Mr. Jonathan Frakes. And friend of the randomizer, Nana Visitor. So I got back yesterday and I am feeling a bit jet-lagged. My brain is not as awake for this as it perhaps should be. So, but you know, that's always how it goes for me with the Protectors. I always sound a bit out of it when I do the Protectors. But this is an episode that I was quite pleased to see come up. I do remember it fondly. And while I've been talking, he pulled out all the film and blew it up. Very naughty. Yeah, this is an episode, as I said, I'm looking forward to getting into this because I like when the Protectors do these episodes in London and it's quite a small scale story with, you know, there's no grand threat. No one's life is in danger directly in this episode or in episodes like Petard. It's a smaller concern of...
They go too meticulous to me.
Here's a film that's being
Are
threatened.
impulsive and crude. Use gasoline and matches.
Yeah, so Stuart Wilson set a time bomb on all that film after knocking out the editor.
It sounds to me to be very calculated.
Blew it up.
That's why I called you, Harry. I need your professional opinion.
What do you want me to do?
Well, before our friend destroyed every last foot of working stock, he was at the vaults. The master negative was in there waiting to be graded.
Oh, no.
It's gone.
No.
Well, I'm responsible for an investment of $5 million. It's the best film I ever made.
Yes, this is Donald Hewlett, another actor I really like.
Buckled acetate. The only print
Done a lot of British comedy shows, in particular It Ain't Our Hot Mum and You Rang My Lord. But his career stretches far beyond that, and I think this is his only Anderson role, so I'm very glad to see him here.
I didn't know what to do, you see. I'm still confused, but I've got to get that negative back, Harry, and quickly.
Isn't it insured?
Yes, but if the insurance company get to hear of it, so will the financiers. A bit of a problem. What do you think, Ashford?
Well, sir, we could, it's a tricky one, sir.
And this is a rare episode as well that, considering, the Anderson shows, these are shows and films that he was making over a period of like 50 years. Well, he and all of the people who worked with him, we have to reinforce that point. Very few of his shows and films actually had episodes or stories that dealt with filmmaking. I think you could probably count on the fingers of one hand, obviously, aside from UFO, which is set in the film studio, but it's not really about films as such. I love this.
Well, aren't you going to open it?
Stuart Wilson just marches in with the can, demands money.
I don't understand.
Oh, it really is very simple. I'm ransoming your future, Mr. Chambers.
He's so cool. He's just so smooth and smarmy. It's a brilliant performance.
Exchange will be for 5 cans.
He did a lot of characters like these in the course of his career.
Hey, I require it.
And the currency?
International bearer bonds.
And the exchange, where?
Here, 4:30.
What, in 3 hours?
It's 1:30.
It's all right, we can organize it.
That is what I like to hear.
Ah, Harry spotted that as Stuart Wilson goes to leave, he just straightened out a few things on Hewlett's desk, suggesting that he is a bit obsessive about very small details. That's a point that will come into play throughout this episode.
26 minutes and 8 seconds. That is, if I'm hindered in any way from getting back to defuse it.
Oh, he's got the rest of the film wired up to blow. And yes, more staring at his watch.
You stay here.
Make sure that, reinforcing the idea that he's on a very strict timetable. There he goes in the lift.
I'm sorry about that, Mr. Chambers. I just couldn't stop him.
I didn't really try, though. Sorry. Right, so he's gone in the lift. 3rd floor, 2nd floor, 1st floor, ground floor. And yet...
See a guy come out of here just now with a bowler hat?
No, sir, not with a bowler hat.
Thank you.
So either he didn't come out that way, or he took off the bowler hat.
Exit.
Yeah, 2. Fire escapes, but they're locked. They're set to open on automatic release.
And I think that was the front of Neptune House, seen in UFO and Doppelganger.
The elevator stops at the ground, so you have to walk down, past the desk.
I can't believe that no one saw him either come or go.
I love that this all hinges on the fact that they're relying on the competency of that doorman who had his back to the door, which you won't have twigged that on audio, but yes, he had his back to the door. So maybe Stuart Wilson just slipped past him. Who knows? Anyway, Donald Hewlett has gone and got the bearer bonds that Stuart Wilson requested, while the Protectors have managed to put together a photo fit of Stuart.
That's him.
There he is.
How many copies do you want? 2, 4, 6 should be enough. Okay.
Hey.
Well, no plan is perfect. There must be a vulnerable point.
And they've obviously been working on it for a long time, putting together that photo fit, because I guess the building didn't have any security cameras.
Caution until he miscalculates. And we'll have to be cautious, because he wasn't kidding about destroying the negative.
Yeah, that's what I like. That these odd little stories where there's no life in danger. It's just, oh, we've got to save this film from being destroyed. We've got to make sure that this new detergent, the opposition don't find out about it. So, it's now time for Stuart Wilson to come and collect his bearer bonds, but the Protectors are on the scene in force. We have several extras, all issued with Stuart Wilson's photo. There's a chauffeur in the Contessa's limo who notably is not Chino. And, oh, what's this? Is this Alf Joint in a taxi? He played Steiner in Breakaway, and he's a stuntman who was in Space 1999 a few times. Paul is also right outside the main door. No, he's outside a side door. And the Contessa is waiting in the lobby, wearing a wig that, well, it looks like a bright pink tribble is trying to eat her head. It's not the most subtle of headgear for a secret agent, but I suppose that's kind of the point.
It's slow.
Oh.
Punctuality is a vice with you.
We all have obsessions.
Is that it?
The bonds. Thank you. Nothing personal. Oh, you can keep the case.
Oh, that's very kind. He's a kind villain.
Revenge.
Yes, that's a vindictive need for returning ill.
Ooh.
Or is this just the perennial human weakness? Avarice.
Yes, I'm not sure from memory what his motive here is.
Philosophy tutor. He was famous for oblique questions.
It kind of doesn't matter when you've got a guest performer who's relishing just being bad, as Stuart Wilson does.
5 cans.
Oh, I'll contact you.
When?
Oh,
When I'm ready to.
so we've got 3 cans back,
It keeps me from getting bored.
5 still missing.
Expensive tastes and diversions.
Yes. Conversation is such a time waster. I do hope I don't have to repeat my boring warning. I do hope.
He's dressed in a suit and top hat. He does feel a bit like he's wandered in from an episode of The Avengers.
Careful, Harry.
He's slightly at odds with the tone of the series, but only slightly.
To the elevator.
Anyway, he's on his way to the elevator. So Harry has radioed to everybody to keep an eye out for him. Paul's going in. The Contessa's on watch. She's in the lobby right opposite the elevator, so when he gets down there, there's no way she's going to miss him. And there's certainly no way he's going to miss her with that bright pink wig. Oh, look! The doors have opened. He's not there. She's not happy about that. Her chauffeur and Paul, they can't see him either.
Nothing.
It was in the elevator.
It's empty, Harry.
My Paul, report in. Negative.
The protectors have fallen down on the job here.
Well?
No luck, Harry.
Right, then he hasn't left. Search the building. Out.
Have Joint got a line? That's very rare to see him ever get dialogue in anything. Oh, now everyone's checking the stairs. Random bits of corridor. A few bits of set that we can very closely zoom the camera in on, so it makes the building look bigger than it is. But here's Harry up on the roof. This is some really nice London location filming here. That's is that Battersea Power Station? There's St Paul's Cathedral. Yeah, very nice vintage shots of London on what looks like quite an overcast day. It's clearly been raining. Quite breezy. Harry's cravat is flapping around in the breeze. And there's no sign of Stuart Wilson anywhere on the roof. Not even in the air conditioning plant. It's stuff like this that makes me wish that the Protectors had gone to a 3rd series and focused more on this kind of thing, the London stuff, this gritty mid-70s feel. I think works in the show's favour.
Caroline.
Slightly more than the
750 approaching the main road.
the Europe stuff.
Right.
So Harry, up on the roof, spotted some cables, work cables, from the roof down to the ground. And a car also pulling away from the car park. So the Contessa has leapt into Alf Joint's taxi. And the chase is on. It's quite a slow chase, and they're following about 2 feet behind him. Ah. But we have now arrived at this villain's destination, except it's not a villain. It's a vicar. We're at the church. And the vicar is just staring at them as if to say, what the hell is the woman with the bright pink wig doing here?
Oh, Harry. You're never going to believe this.
You know what vicars do. There's probably a shrinking ray in that case. So they've given up and they've gone back to Harry's for some more food.
That is delicious. What is it?
And ginger, sherry, soy sauce, a little corn flour,
Onions?
some water, and grated onions.
Your own recipe?
It's kind of adapted traditional. Dragon shrimps.
Well, that sounds nice.
All lobsters are called dragon shrimps. And more ginger.
This is something interesting as well. It's a kind of a very subplot in the 2nd series. Because Suki isn't around to be his housekeeper anymore, having just disappeared from the series, Harry is often cooking for himself, and it's quite a nice touch to the character, adding this interest in food.
And I was late, or it was, a decoy.
Yeah, so they kind of fell down on the job there, but they're not too concerned.
Hello.
Still time for a really nice meal.
When? Okay. Right, bye. How long do you think it'll take us to organize 50,000 pounds in low notes?
Oh, well, I don't know. But yeah, Stuart Wilson is back in the office with a drink and a cigar on the go. He's Mr. Smooth all round here.
The money will be here.
When?
When?
That amount of money, particularly at night.
We've done what you asked. There's no deception.
Oh, you wouldn't be that misguided.
You know that if you deceive me, I've got a yellow nappy and yellow cape that I can put on and scare everybody.
Obsession with time overruled your intelligence.
Yes, I am meticulous, but imperfection has become the universal norm. Oh, it's very depressing.
There's something else in The Protectors, the anger of rebellious youth, which I guess Stuart Wilson just about fits into in this show.
Yes, thank you, Miss Hemsley.
There's the Contessa. She's brought in the money.
50,000.
How it's surprising what you can do with a little imagination.
I'm waiting for him to say old boy. He feels like he should say old boy.
See, 889F. In the garage, in the boot. Now, you have 7 minutes and 41 seconds before the car and your precious negative turn to ashes. All that is except one reel.
Now, look,
Now,
it
you
was
get
agreed.
it. It's a little personal insurance.
This must be the best film ever made for them to be going to all this trouble.
And you are wasting time.
How do we defuse it?
A simple switch. Come on.
I've left Stuart Wilson in the office while they go down to the car park to see what's what. Nah, he's leaving now. He had to finish his drink first. And of course, before he leaves the office, I'll just adjust that painting, and it was at a slightly wonky angle. But as he leaves, the Contessa was waiting in the room opposite, and she is going to follow him to the lift to see where he goes. You see, this is a master plan on the part of the Protectors. Just kind of follow him, see where he goes. He ducked into the lift, and just before the doors closed, he got out of the lift. You've got to hand it to him. He's just superb. Yes. Meanwhile, in the car park, Harry and Donald Hewlett, they're looking for that car. If it was me, I'd have had to write that registration down. I wouldn't remember that off the top of my head. And the Contessa drawn a line on the staircase wall with her lipstick to indicate where Stuart Wilson went. Looks like he's heading up to the roof. Oh, time's running out. Where's that car with the film? Hurry! 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 Oh, thank goodness he was left the key. Oh, can't get that thing to open. Come on.
It's too late, Harry. Come away, please.
I like that Donald Hewlett is slowly backing up to hide behind a wall, just in case the worst should happen as we tick down those 7 minutes. But there's the film, tied to some dynamite. And good old Harry has just ripped everything out. No time for subtlety. Now it's the Contessa's turn to be up on the roof and find nothing, except a door that's been left ajar. This is the door to the generating room. Have a look in here and see what's going on. Ah! He shut her in. And locked it. It's all part of his most devious plan. Thrown away the key. So his hideout is definitely somewhere on the roof. But where?
Harry! In here!
Get back.
Oh, yes, with no key, we resort to the number 2 solution to open a door that's locked.
Chambers said you're looking for Caroline. I found her.
Shoot the lock. Yeah, that'll work.
Miles away by now.
He's up here somewhere. It all seems so obvious now. He never left the building.
You mean he was up here all the time?
Yeah. Well, where is he? That's what we've got to find out.
Yeah, that was what you kind of seemed to have an inkling about that earlier. And Stuart Wilson is looking slightly a bit desperate now. He's realising that his timing is kind of getting a bit frayed here. He's run into the air conditioning plant, but again, there's no sign of him. Where could he be as the camera pans past? Oh no, they're going to zoom in on it this time. The air duct grill. Could it be?
Nothing, no sign anywhere. Open sesame.
Yes.
Huh. And here we find his little man cave. With a torch, and some cans of beans, change of clothes, some tools, kettle.
Not too long ago, either.
And a bed.
Look.
Ah! And within that
All right, see if you can find a flashlight.
All right.
air vent grill room, there's an air vent. Yes, and Harry is now going to go crawling through there and see what we can see.
Where's Harry?
He's over there.
Well, define over there. He's inside an air vent, inside an air vent, inside that room over there, yes. Ah, dear. Oh, there's a rather large fan in this air vent. I believe it's commonly known as a chopper. As if you're trying to get through that when it turns on, you'd, well... Ah, very clever. He's cut off, Stuart Wilson has cut off one of the 4 wings of the fan so that he can get through. He's up ahead in the air vent. Kitted out with backpack, rope, headlamp. Looks like he's going caving.
Which way?
That way.
Now Paul's going into the air vent. He's the next one in. I guess Nairi Dawn Porter couldn't be bothered to do that today. Now where's Stuart Wilson trying to get to? We've rescued most of the film. But there are still, I believe, is it 3 cans left? I can't remember. They're doing quite a good job of making this air vent look convincing. I'm almost inclined to say it's actually real rather than a set. But it's one of those air vents that's conveniently big enough for our heroes to crawl around in. Or even sort of crab walk around in. Harry has found the rope down. Stuart Wilson left. Gotta follow that. And Stuart Wilson is checking his watch. I love that we were presented with this character who was so smooth and so cool and so debonair. And now he is almost going to pieces. He's very panicked that he's got to get back in time. His timing is so precise. And I believe it has to be because at a certain time, yep, the fans turn on, and wouldn't you know it, the fan underneath Stuart Wilson has turned on before he could go through it. So he's got to work his way back up. And there's Harry.
Don't let go! Glass can of negative.
Oh, Harry's got the rope, lowering him towards the fan. Oh!
Where? In a locker at London Airport.
Hooray!
The heating system. There must be a master switch back there.
Yeah, Nairi Dawn Porter isn't going into the air duct today. She's wearing some nice clothes, so we don't want to mess those up. That's it. Ah, the heating's off. Everything's okay.
Did you get it? Yep, the last can. Thanks, Harry. All of you.
Yay! We've saved the film. It better have been worth it.
Bye, under the circumstances.
He nearly made it.
Yeah, well, we made him late. Ruined his timing.
Almost feels like there should be an ending where they go and actually watch the film and it's a complete disaster, but nah, they're just having a toast. If Donald Hewlett is happy with how things turned out, then I'm happy with how things turned out. And that was The Protectors, The Insider. And I really love that as an idea. It's such a nice change of pace. As I said, I really like these smaller scale stories with no huge threat, but there's enough of a threat. We care about what's going on. We want Donald Hewlett to get his film back. And a very clever idea of, oh, where's this guy gone? Well, he actually never left the building. He's supposed to be very nice and cool, but actually he's a bit of a nerd who was hiding in the roof the whole time. Good one.